Welcome to Waimea Valley's fifth webinar in our webinar series about native seed collection and propagation. I'm going to start by introducing myself. I am Jacey Domingsil, and I'm a conservation intern with the Kupu nonprofit organization. And I work here in Waimea Valley for Hi'ipaka LLC as a botanical and conservation intern. And I'm also a college student. I'm currently taking online classes at San Diego State University. And I chose to work here at Waimea because I heard about their collection of not just plants, but native Hawaiian plants, and I really wanted experience working with them. How we use the seeds that we collect. So one of the programs that our conservation department does, and this is ongoing, we collect seeds in order to outplant them and reforest our two conservation sites. One is called Kalahe and the other one is called Mauka. So we collect seeds and then we grow them in our nursery here in the valley. And then once they're big enough to be outplanted, we outplant them in the same areas that where they were collected from in order to reforest those areas. Benefits of collecting, well, since we use the seeds for outplanting, I'd say like a benefit for us is that we know that the seeds we are, I know that the seeds we're collecting are from plants that are already acclimated to the area. So we know that the plants we grow from those seeds will do well when we outplant them. We can also keep track of our populations when we go and collect seeds. And here are some books that would be helpful. So Growing Hawaii's Native Plants is something that we use in the nursery a lot. We take advice for collection, sowing, germinating, and just caring for all of our native plants from that book. And then we also have Hawaii's Native Plants. Both of these books have descriptions of native plants. So that would be very helpful for IDing them as well. All right, so on one of our native sites, on one of our conservation sites, Kalahe, we have mountain akia, ko'oko'olau, and ule, mountain akia, and they're all shrubs. On our Mauka site, we have uki uki, carex, and halapepe. Uki uki and carex are shrubs, and halapepe is a tree. And on both of our sites, we also find koa, a'ali'i, maile, and ohia. More natives that we find on both of our sites are pukiave, alahe'e, and iliahi, and a lot of these are found, actually all of them, all of them are found naturally growing on both of our native sites and the plants on the respective sites as well. And these are the ones we try to outplant to just keep those populations going. So for collecting, one of the forms seeds come in are berries and our fruit, our seeds inside of berries. And usually when berries are not ripe yet, they're usually green for us. So as you can see on the left, the ule berries are green and those ones are not ripe. And then they ripen, when they ripen, they turn white. And as for the pukiave and the llama, before they ripened, they were also green, I believe, but the pukiave turns red and the llama turns that orangey yellow. So capsules are really interesting. On Ohia, they don't produce fruits. Instead, the dry flower buds turn into these capsules that over time open up. And as I'm not sure if you can see, but inside the picture, you can see the capsule and there's like little yellow stuff. inside, yeah, those are like each, they look like needles, as you can see on the picture, in the picture on the right. But yeah, those needles are just packed inside those capsules, and there are like hundreds in each capsule. So that's really cool. All right, collecting pods. Uh, I think Koa and Biden's are the only pods that I've seen. Yeah, Koas, they have like long pods, and the seeds are inside. And Ko'oko'olau, the Biden spa, is the scientific name. They have twisty pods, which is really cool. And when we collect them out in the field, we usually keep them in these little paper envelopes. And we have Ziploc bags. So both of these you can put dry seeds in, but sometimes sometimes fruits need to be kept moist until you can separate the seeds from the fruit, like ule. So we would put ule in here, and we put a little bit of water, and then that would keep them good until we can separate the seeds from the fruit. Yeah, so these are our harvest dates, and this information is like specific to the Waimea Valley and its surrounding areas. So I'm not sure if this can be applied to all sites where you can harvest seeds, but yeah, this is when we harvest our different species. In the spring, we do a'ali'i, iliahi, and koa usually seed from summer to fall. There are a lot that seed in the fall, but those are just some. Alahe'e, naupaka, kuahiwi, ule, uki uki, and archaerix. And from fall to winter, we harvest lama and ohia. All right, so this is a video, just me separating seeds from fruit. So once we bring whatever we collected back down into the valley, we have to separate the seeds from the fruit. Yeah, so this is me just separating the pulp on the naupaka kahakai seed, on the, sorry, the fruit from the seed. And naupaka kahakai is actually the beach version of naupaka kuahiwi. So they're both naupaka. So they both have like the same flower and stuff, but they're just different species because one is on the beach and the other one is from the mountains. But yeah, that's how we separate seeds from fruit. Usually we just do that over and over again for all the berries. And soaking seeds. These are usually the plants whose seeds we need to soak. And room temperature water is okay. I think for a'ali'i, you might be able to get away with like warmer water, but room temperature water works just fine. And that's a picture of koa seed soaking. Yeah, we soak them in jars, but you can also use a bowl or a cup. All right, so we have two different types of sowing methods, regular sowing and surface sowing. So this is surface sowing. All right, so I take the seeds out of the bag, and surface sowing, we just sprinkle the seeds on top of the soil. Yeah, so we just have our soil mix just in a tray. And yeah, we just sprinkle the seeds, and they germinate like that. Make sure you water your seeds in after you sow them. Yeah, and generally we use the same soil mix. Oh, those are where we keep our babies in the nursery, as you can see. There's uki uki next to that tray that already germinated. Really cute. And yeah, we generally use the same potting mix for when we sow and for when we up pot. And we have this sunshine mix, which has peat moss and perlite in it, and then we add even more perlite to it. Yeah, seeds prefer well-draining soil. And this is me demonstrating regular sowing. with a little pot. Oh, and nicking the koa seeds. I'll talk about that after. Yeah, so those are koa seeds. They've been soaking. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is nicking the seeds. That allows water to enter the seeds so they can, to help them germinate because seeds need water to germinate. So you get a little bit of soil, leave maybe half an inch from the top. Yeah, poke a little hole. We usually put 1 or 2 seeds inside of each hole. Then you just cover it up, sprinkle a little bit more soil on there. Yeah. And that's how to regular sow. Yeah, same mix. Okay, I think I can bring out the like pots and containers and stuff. Okay. Um, so when we sow things in trays, we have for regular sowing, if we have a lot of seeds and we just don't want to use a lot of pots, we have this. It's just a section tray. So 2 seeds would go in each little section in here. And then for surface sowing, we just use these flat trays. So we put the soil directly in here and then we surface sow on top of that soil. Yeah. Those are our trays. Germination. Okay, again, this is information based on my observation. So I have sowed all of these different plants, and this is just how long my plants took to germinate in our nursery. So koa and a'ali'i are pretty quick. A'ali'i is less than a month for sure, and koa, I think the fastest koa seeds germinated for me was like a few days, maybe even less than a week. Yeah, it was pretty quick. Ule, ohia, uki uki, and lama took 1 to 2 months, and carrots took a while, actually. Yeah, more than 2 months. So these are just some pictures of what the seeds look like when they germinate. So these are baby plants. On the left is ohia. We surface sow ohia because I'm not, from the picture earlier, they are just like little tiny seeds. So we just surface sow them, and that's what they look like when they grow from the top of the soil. We put ule in the section tray that I just showed you. And I think that's 2 because we put 2 seeds in the same hole. And then the llama seeds were actually a little bit bigger. So I think we just put them straight into 4-inch pots. Yeah, 1 seed in each pot. Growing and uppotting. Okay, so we have dibbles and pots. So dibbles are these tubes. Normally, the ones that we put in dibbles, we uppot them straight from the trays and into these. These are the 20s. I think they're called 20s and 40s because the volume for this is 20 cubic inches. And I think this is 40 cubic inches. For bigger plants, like sometimes with koa, we can just pot them straight into here. But usually they go from the trays to 20s and then the 40s. And then if we want to put them in pots, we usually use either 2 or 4-inch pots straight from the trays. And then from those little pots, we have these half gallons. And then from these, they go to the gallon pots. Yep. And for maintenance, we do fertilize our plants here in the nursery, and we use the Nutricoat brand fertilizer. And I believe the ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium in our fertilizer is 18:6 to 8. Oh, and hardening off Hardening off is, as you can see in the picture on the right, we have our plants outside, and that's to harden them off to get them more acclimated to fuller sun, more heat, and just the outside conditions. So when we outplant them, they're more acclimated to that kind of weather. Because sometimes if we keep plants in the nursery and then we put them outside, they're like, oh man, they just have a hard time adjusting because they're not getting water every day like they used to in the nursery. They're not getting like consistent amounts of sun like they get in the nursery. And yeah, and the picture on the bottom is what the fertilizer look like, what the fertilizer looks like. They're just little like gray pebbles, and we just sprinkle them on top of the soil. Okay, so on our Kalahe site, Kalahe is one of the ridges that surrounds Waimea Valley. So we have a site on top of that ridge, and these are just pictures of our outplanting. So when the plants are big enough, as you can see in the left photo, we load all the plant babies in the back, and we drive them up. And we actually have volunteer days where groups can come up and help us plant and reforest our site. So those are, yeah, that's a picture of the truck, a picture of a planting demonstration, and on the right, that's a picture of one of our planting formations. We usually put a tree in the center and then surround it with shrubs. That's a llama tree in the center and uki uki surrounding it. Okay. Our Mauka site, it's much further, it's much higher than the Kalahe site. So we don't usually have big groups go because the Kalahe site is so close that people can hike to it, that lots of people can hike to it, but not a lot of people can hike to our Mauka site. So it's usually just us out planting up there. But yeah, this is one of our plantings. We're planting ahakea, koa, and llama, but I'm not sure. Yeah, llama's in there somewhere. Thanks for watching, guys. This was really fun. Oh yeah, I have plant babies. So this is a little teeny tiny uki uki plant in one of our 2-inch pots. And and in the nursery, we usually label them on these little labels. So we put the name on one side, and then on the other side, we put the history of the plant, which is like the day it was collected, the day it was sown, and the day it was up potted. So we have that. Yeah, so this is uki uki. And this is ahakea. This is one of the plants that I didn't have good pictures of, so I just brought it here. It's another one of our shrubs. That's ahakea. And then this is maile, the vine. We outplant these on Mauka. And yeah, maile as in mailele. And here is a little baby koa tree in one of our 40 dibbles. I think this one is 4 months old. It took 4 months to get this size. We're so proud. Okay. And this is one of our baby a'ali'is in one of our 20 dibbles. And I believe this is 2 months old. No, 3 months old. This is 3 months old. Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So I actually had two.
Okay.
The first one would be when you're talking about the naupaka, right? Those seeds. Yeah. When you talk about the naupaka seeds, you said that there was a beach version. What kind of beaches could you find that on? Or like if there are any on the island?
Oh, they're like everywhere. Yeah. Like
Are they like the white like balls, like you see
Yes,
the
that's the
one
one.
you can
That's
put
the one I
on
use.
the Portuguese man o' war stings.
The
I don't know.
what?
I heard a lifeguard say that once at Waimanalo.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of that. Did you try it?
If it is the same thing, I don't know, but yeah, someone said like grab the things off the plants and squirt them on your stings.
Cool. Well, I have no idea, but that sounds cool if it works.
And then my second one would be when you're talking about the hardening off of the plants, and you were saying that sometimes the plants, you know, just you do that because they need to get acclimated. If they weren't acclimated and you didn't do the hardening off, is that one reason why they could just like die off when they get out there?
Yeah. There are many instances in which we outplant plants that weren't properly hardened off, and they just a lot of them just like lose all their leaves and they die. Yeah. So to help prevent that, that's why we do the hardening off process and we keep them outside.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thank you, Case. Okay. Are there questions in the chat? Oh, okay. Uh, when you water the soil, so the soil has perlite, peat, and there are other soil components. So when I watered, the water just washed away the other soil components, leaving the white perlite on top. Yeah, so that's why it looked like it turned white. It just washed away the other soil components. And the perlite are just, they don't add any nutritional value to the soil. They're mostly for to keep the soil airy, because the seeds and the plants like airy soil and well draining soil. So we use those rocks. They're like little, they're just little tiny rocks. They're very porous. You guys have any more questions? You can
I
also
have a
say
question.
hi.
Oh, hello. Hello. Yeah,
Hi.
but do you have like a favorite plant to I guess work with? Or like yeah.
Okay. That's a good question. Okay, hold on. I have to think. I really like ule right now. Ule, shoot, I don't have it on me, but ule is really cute and it's really resilient. When we find ule just growing naturally on Kalahe, like sometimes the volunteers don't always know what it is, or they forget what it is if we explain it to them. So they step on it, or sometimes they just happen to think it's a weed or they pull it up, but then the plant still survives, which is really cool. So that's why I like ule. And when they germinate, they look so cute with their little leaves.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kylie. Okay. Are there any more questions? Okay. Fingers crossed by the end of the week, a recording of this will be on YouTube, the Waimea Valley YouTube channel, right? Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to watch this again. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. This was really fun. Yeah. Thank you to my friends who I didn't invite until like 2 hours ago. So you guys came in clutch. You guys are really awesome. And thank you to Anissa. Anissa is our producer, editor. She like set all this stuff up. It's a lot of stuff. You can't see it, but it's like a lot of stuff here. And I don't know how it works. So thank you, Adisa, for making it all work. She's the reason we're live. Thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone I work with pretty much. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Goodbye.